Good afternoon, everybody. Buon pomeriggio a tutti, and thanks for your presence. It's a great pleasure in my quality of President of the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce to host in the May Smart Talk of the Chamber, the Chairman of the Board of the Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency, Mr. Michael, that I warmly thank for the presence. Mr. Michael has a long professional career in business and audit services, also as a partner of KPMG in Cyprus, and he has been actively involved with public life, holding senior position in several public corporations, and also covered the role of Vice President of the Cyprus University of Technology. Today's Smart Talk will be moderated by Mr. Federico Maria Bega, currently Chief Strategy Officer at Promos Italia, that is the Italian agency for internationalization of enterprises of the Italian chamber system, that I also thanks for the presence. Mr. Bega has more than 25-year experience in the international business and global market development, and an extensive working experience with public administration and governments, and covering several positions. Before to start the discussion, I have the pleasure to remember that some years ago we co-organized with SIPA a successful event in Rome that had also an appendix in Milan. Was in March 2018, and I can say that many steps forward has been done in this year in terms of information and promotion of the opportunities that Cyprus offers to Italian companies and investors. In this regard, before to leave the floor to Federico, I would like to remark once again the commitment of the Chamber, that thanks to the support of all our members and also the support of the institution of both countries, became the main point of reference today for the Cypriot Italian business community. So let's start then, please, Federico.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here today with such a distinguished representatives from the Cypriot business community. Let me express my gratitude, congratulations to Mr. Marino, to Mr. Michael, Mr. Katsaros for this very special occasion. So we are very confident that through this smart talk, we're going to increase our knowledge about the current situation, the economic outlook of Cyprus, and we will for sure take advantage for mutual future cooperation between Italy and Cyprus. So let me now raise the first question to Mr. Michael. We kindly ask you to give the audience a general overview of the main areas of interest of SIPA and the important role played by your organization in the attraction, facilitation of FDIs in Cyprus. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Federico. Let me, before answering the question, to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk to such a distinguished audience of the Cyprus Italian or the Italian Cyprus business community. So it is my privilege to be here and try and give, as you said, all the information necessary so that everybody understands today the economic and the investment outlook in Cyprus. So SIPA is it stands for Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency. It's known as Invest Cyprus. It's a state company, private company. It's state only because its budget is covered by the government, by the central government, and it bases its existence in three roles actually. The first one is to promote Cyprus as an ideal investment destination for investments, of course. Secondly, is to facilitate and give after invest care to any investor that decides to start business in Cyprus. And the third is to be the government's arm, investment arm, in promoting various rules and regulations in order to assist in the execution of the other two of its roles. So SIPA is here to support all investors that would like to join Cyprus, and of course, in that respect, we try to keep excellent relations with other investment agencies in Europe, in our family in Europe, but also in third countries.
Thank you. Yes, as you probably know, we are also strongly involved in the FDI attraction in Italy. As a Chamber of Commerce, we are running a program which is called Invest in Lombardy, where our organization is based. So the FDI attraction is a critical issue for sure, as you know. So with this respect, what are the main reasons to invest in Cyprus nowadays in terms of attractiveness of the region, and what is the fiscal and legislative framework now?
Well, if somebody looks at the world map, he will see that Cyprus is based among the three continents: Asia, Europe, and North Africa, of course. So its geographical location, I would say that it's one of the main interests of foreign investors, because they can use a basis, a headquarter basis in Cyprus, regional or otherwise, in promoting their business in these markets. Of course, needless to say that Cyprus is a very attractive touristic destination, and it's not only good to work and do business, but also to live. That's why you have a lot of investors that they choose Cyprus to bring their families and live here as well. Another reason is, of course, our attractive tax regime. I would say that we have one of the lowest tax rates in Europe. Of course, this is nowadays not the main issue for companies to relocate, but it's one of the reasons that it allows companies to reuse their wealth within their company by saving in taxation. Another reason is, I would say, that Cyprus has more than 63 double tax treaties that they can be used, also with Italy, of course, that they can be used in order to avoid double taxation. And last but not least, I would say that the access to investors of a lot of young talents in most of the businesses that we see today, especially in high-tech companies, it's one of the reasons also why foreign investors can choose Cyprus. And after all, what an investor needs, he needs a stable political environment, he needs a pro-business government, and it needs a good return in its investment. And I think Cyprus nowadays, it scores top on all three.
Thanks. Now, widely opening, facing this post-pandemic economy, from a FDI's perspective, and what are now the competitiveness and challenges the mad economy is facing from your perspectives, and what are the future opportunities?
Well, it's a fact that the pandemic has changed not only the way we think, but the way we do business as well. And I think we learned some things from the pandemic that they will remain in our lives. I mean, from a business perspective, it was very easy to catch a plane and go everywhere. But nowadays, you can have all cities, for example, of India in one session. So using the technology today, it's something that is very important to us. Cyprus has proven that it's quite resilient to changes from outside. We are a small place and we can adapt easily. So I think it's very interesting to see how we can utilize all these factors today for the future business between, I would say the world is not only between Cyprus and Italy, of course, but it's with every single business community that we can reach, and we can give the good opportunities that they can find in Cyprus nowadays. We have to say that due to the pandemic, there was a European shrink of the economies of more than 8.5%. In Cyprus, it was 5%. It shows how, as I said, how resilient our economy is because of its size and because of the way we can adapt it to the new changes. So I think the competitiveness are there because all European and third countries, of course, economies are very difficult to adjust the way we do. Most of the countries in Europe that before the pandemic, they didn't even care to promote investment, or they did little about it. Now they are all interested. So the competition is there. And from countries, for Cyprus, for example, it used to be Malta, it used to be Luxembourg. Now, I think it's almost all countries in Europe. So it's very important for us to keep it. And the challenges, of course, is to keep, as I said, our resilience in adapting to these new situations and new technologies to move forward.
Thanks. Now, for sure, you have a long-standing relation with the foreign investors or already located companies in your business community, in your land. What are, from this perspective, the driving factors of FDI in Cyprus?
Well, we said a few before, but I think we can repeat that there are three, perhaps more, factors why foreign investors would like to share their investment ideas in Cyprus. First of all, as I said, is the location. Cyprus, it's geostrategic location. It serves three continents: Europe, Middle East, and Africa, North Africa. So it's very important for an investor to know that using Cyprus can expand its business in all these. And of course, we are the only European country close to the Middle East. Now, this is, I don't know if this is very good sometimes, but surely it serves the purpose of many businesses, many investors, that they get into the Middle East markets. Secondly, is the high quality of life and ease of doing business. It's very important for an investor to do its business here as low cost as possible and as easy as possible. And I think we can serve both. And of course, the rich talent, young talent we have in almost business sectors of the economy. So I think these are the most important drivers why somebody would choose us.
Thanks. As everybody knows, in the past 20 years, the Cyprus economy has gradually shifted from agricultural light manufacturing to services. From your perspective, what are the investment sectors of major interest in general, and what are the ones that you believe are of major interest for the Italian groups?
Well, I can say that we are now focusing in three main areas. The first one is the establishment of a base, of a headquarters base of multinational companies in Cyprus, and especially for tech companies. And this is one of the major promotions that we do now, because in that respect, we saw that Cyprus is very easy located for the talented workforce we have on that respect. Secondly, it's major investments in sectors like tourism, like healthcare, like education, renewable energy. All these are strategic, are national strategies, I would say, for the for attracting investors on that respect. And third, but not least, is the investment funds. Cyprus has reached today, for the last 4 years, 220% increase in its assets under management in Cyprus. And we reached more than 8.5 billion when we started a few years ago with 1 billion. So it's one of the sectors of the economy that we attract a lot of fund managers, and we hope that this will reach in 5 years in more than 25 billion. So it's something that we want to promote heavily, and it's something that I also see Italian groups being interested. We have Italian companies in Cyprus. In some of the economic factors of our country, just to mention E&I in the energy sector, just to mention Atlas Pandu in construction and all, and some others. And it's very important for us to see how we can serve other Italian companies as well, that they wish to do this kind of international business with a base in Cyprus.
Thanks. Since Cyprus is located at the crossroads, as you mentioned, of Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, it offers for sure opportunities for energy sector service providers in consulting, environmental assessment, offshore, hydrocarbon exploration, exploitation, supply of natural gas. From your perspective, what is the involvement of SIPA in this specific sector of the energy?
Yeah, well, as you know now, we have the energy sector is under the Ministry of Energy, Trade and Industry. So all the important drivers to the energy sector, they are carried out by the Ministry of Energy. But of course, as SIPA, as I said, is to promote Cyprus as an investment destination worldwide, we couldn't be out of the promotion of our country as an energy hub. And of course, with the discoveries of hydrocarbon reserves in our exclusive economic zone, we think that we open a very big sector in our economy, as long as we are able to get it out of the sea. As you know, we have a few problems, and E&I had a few problems the last year before the pandemic due to the Turkish aggression. But we think that it's something that it's a force moving towards, we hope that it will help also the solution of the Cyprus problem. So the energy sector is very important, and what we do is to promote anything that has to do with the energy sector, particularly solar parks. So it's very important for us that all kinds of energy investments are supported by us, and we try to assist any company that they want to invest in this sector.
Thanks. As many of our guests already know, Cyprus is framing a comprehensive, holistic policy to compete as a technology hub. And the main objective is to build a clear roadmap for making Cyprus into a regional tech hub. So based on your experience and also many investment made by companies choosing Cyprus to relocate the operation, what are the reasons behind their decision, and can you give some examples of such companies?
As I already said, the high-tech, the ICT companies, as they are called, information, communication, and technology companies, are choosing Cyprus, and we had 6 of those multinational companies having their base in Cyprus the last 6 months, 8 months or so. So it's very important for us to promote this heavily, and the reason that we are trying to establish Cyprus as a high-tech hub, it's because we have, as I said, a world-class talent locally. On that respect, it's very important for investors that coming here that they need to know, and I know that they do their research before they come, that our universities provide this talent locally. And nowadays, I can tell you that we have more than 12,000 employees in this industry working already. So it's very important for an investor in that respect to know that they can choose from world-class talent in technology. And it's very important for us that we manage to change our rules that an investor can, a high-tech investor can bring almost up to 300 foreign employees to Cyprus on that respect. So this is very important, and we saw that it helps a lot these companies to make their decision. Also, we have nowadays we established a fast track mechanism, which is coordinated by the Ministry of Trade, that it allows a foreign investor to get its licenses very, very quickly. So we have companies, operations, renting of offices, finding job talent, and all these kind of things in a very, very quick time. That's very important for them also. As you know, an investor appreciates a lot if they get in business the quicker they can. And also, I have to say that with these policies now, we have a growing tech ecosystem that it allows those companies to get in touch with each other. Now we also formulated, we established the Cyprus Tech Association, that they by themselves try and help all those companies under its roof. So it's very important for us. I can name a few of these companies that they now operate in Cyprus, which is NCR, Amdocs, Wargaming, Toro, and all these kind of companies.
Thanks. Another very vibrant sector, as everybody knows, for the foundation for the economy of Cyprus is tourism, contributing with around more than 22% of the entire GDP. So Cyprus is a key player in the development tourism strategies, and currently is targeting a strategic shift towards a diversification of its tourist products. So SIPA is involved in the promotion of different projects of hotel complex, beachfront resorts, and sports resorts. So can you give an overview regarding some specific projects?
Yes, and Federico, I have to say that we suffered a lot the last 2 years because of the lack of tourism. As you said, we have a very strong tourist industry in Cyprus, and the prohibition of tourists because of the pandemic the last 2 years, I think you have the same problem in Italy also. We suffered a lot from this prohibition, and in 2020 and almost until now, the rate of the tourists coming to Cyprus is almost 10% of what it was in 2019. We hope now, with the opening of our economy and our hotels and all the other results, that we will start picking up. And I think in June, July, and August, we are going to have a very good current of tourists to Cyprus. Of course, SIBA is supporting all the actions of the Deputy Ministry of Tourism, but we concentrate mainly on the attractiveness of investors in the tourist industry. And we had a lot of those investments, even the last 2 years, because everybody knows that when the pandemic is over, that they will increase the number of tourists that they can bring to Cyprus. So we, of course, support all the tourist investments in golf resorts, in hotels, in complexes, in thematic parks, and all these that are very important for the Cyprus tourist industry. And it's very important also for us that we have created within the strategic target of the National Tourism Strategy 2030, that we have created Tourinvest within Cyprus Investment Promotion Agency, that it takes care of all these investments that they have to do with tourism. And of course, we managed to have a platform in our website that deals with all sorts of investments in tourist industry, and anyone who is interested to get more information, they can get it from our website, investcyprus.com.cy.
Thanks. Let's now move to another very strategic sector for your economy. So life sciences and healthcare is now more and more representing a very basis for your economy. In particular, in the last 3 years, the sector is an area of great interest regarding also the health tourism. Your organization is strongly involved in promotion of investment in the health sector. Can you give us some insights about this sector and some ideas about the future or existing projects?
Yes, indeed. Cyprus has transformed its health sector in the last 3 years, as you mentioned. And yesterday, it was the second year, it was the 2 years from the commencement of the Cyprus health, the national health system, which has transformed the lives of the Cypriots and all the Europeans living in Cyprus, of course. This has changed all the infrastructure of the Cyprus health system. So, under these circumstances, we couldn't leave out the investments in that sector, which are quite enormous the last years. So the whole health infrastructure has changed. We have private hospitals that have been created, have been established. We have also rehabilitation centers. We have assisted living premises now. We have wellness and spa resorts, and all these that they assist also, as you said, the health tourism. It's very important for us, not only for the locals, but the all the of our tourists and our investors alike, that they can use this sector as one of their main interests in investing. And we had a lot of investments, as I said, in this respect. It's really a very important, it's the biggest social event that happened since the inauguration of the Republic of Cyprus.
Thanks. Let's now enter a little deep into the Cyprus, well-known Cypriot entrepreneurial spirit, which is recognized all over the world for this very approach. This period made the island a financial hub amongst the European countries and other countries in the world. What are CIPA's top priorities regarding the financial services?
Yes, well, Cyprus, it was never an industrial country. We always based our economy, our free enterprise economy, on services mainly. And as in services, we include, of course, the tourism, we include the shipping industry, but of course also the banking system and all the other professional services that they are offered in Cyprus. It's very interesting to note, it's very important to note that the financial services industry has served almost 8% to the gross added value in 2019. So it's a very important sector of our economy. And what we are trying to do now is to get out of the old way that we used to offer professional services and get into the new era, that it's very important to associate the professional services sector with investment in added value. So the time that we used to do companies, share companies, and all these kind of things are gone. Now all the professional services professionals are mainly focused on investments that they bring value to our not only to their businesses, but eventually to the Cyprus economy as well. So as Invest Cyprus, we are in constant communication with all the professionals in Cyprus, because I can say that they are our main partners in promoting our country. So it's very important to keep the financial and professional services sector in a very good mood in order to promote our country.
Thanks. So as both Italy and Cyprus, EU member states, and also Mediterranean countries, communication strategy to attract foreign investors is a key issue. And do you have any specific campaign for Italy? And in particular, how is going the contribution between your organization and the Italian-Cypriot Chamber of Commerce at this regard?
Right. Well, I have to admit that we didn't have much relations in the past between the Cyprus and the Italian business community in general, not specifically, but in general. And I was so happy when I was invited to talk today and discuss with you all these matters, because Italy, it's a very big country and a very important player in the European perspective, and Cyprus has to gain a lot from the Italian business community in that respect. So it's very important for us to take this opportunity now and move forward in establishing much more in-depth relations between us by, for example, exchanging information, because Cyprus is a small place. We have a lot of investments that cannot take place in Cyprus, but they can use Cyprus to do it in Italy, for example. So there are a lot of things that we can think to associate both our countries and our associations in order to promote our business community interests. So it's very important to step on this stepping stone right now. And what I would like to do is when we finish to get in touch with you and try and lay down some methods that we can increase our relationship. Perhaps an MOU between us, it will be an initial move in order to officially inaugurate our new relationship. And I think it's very important. You have a lot of members that perhaps they would be interested to learn more about Cyprus. We have a lot of people that perhaps they don't do business nowadays with Italy, but they would like to do that. So it's a common cause, I think.
We are also ready to enter for sure in a cooperation agreement MOU, as you mentioned, with you, with the chamber for sure, to fostering relations with common benefit to our members. So thank you once again. Now we are approaching the end of this talk from our side. So there is one last question. How can SIPA assist foreign companies, investors interested in investing in Cyprus? Are you still in touch after the investment or relocation with aftercare services, as we do also in Italy?
Of course, as I said at my beginning remarks, one of the most important roles and targets of Invest Cyprus is to offer facilitation and aftercare services when the investor decides to start a business in Cyprus. So yes, we are close to all those investors in Cyprus, and we hold two events in that respect. The first one, we have a subcommittee in our organization, which is called Facilitation and Aftercare Committee, that they organize an event every year, inviting to a dinner not all of the foreign investors in Cyprus, but every year we call upon some new every time, and we offer our appreciation in that respect. Of course, we didn't do it the last 2 years because of the pandemic, but hopefully we will start doing it by the closing of this year onwards. So it's very important for us to keep them aware that we watch them, we know what they are doing, and we are close to them for whatever they want. The second event, it's I would say the red carpet event of the year. We do this event in the Presidential Palace under the auspices of the President of the Republic, and we usually give awards to 7 of the biggest investors and the most investments that they brought added value to our country every year. And this is very important. We ask them to join us. We ask them to have their top tier executives with us. Just to let you know that if an investor doesn't want himself, but he wants to send an employee to collect the award, we don't give it. So we want all those people to know that we care about them, but we want also for them to show their appreciation by attending the event, then accepting the award from the president. So yes, we care very much for the investors. And after all, Federico, if we are traveling all over the world to bring new investors, why shouldn't we start from accepting the ones that are already in Cyprus? It's very important.
That's exactly what we do also in Italy in our job. I can say that assisting the already located foreign companies is even more convenient for us. For sure, we are always open to assist new arrivals, newcomers as companies, but more than 60% of our business is to assist the already existing companies for extension of the plans of development and programs. So I perfectly agree with you. Based on our experience, we also have, since we are based mainly in Milan, Milan alone is hosting more than 4,500 companies of the 6,000 companies, foreign companies located in Italy. So we have a lot to do. And the foreign chambers and also the diplomatic corps based in Milan is doing, as you are doing in your country, a tremendous job of cooperation for the assistance and the facilitation for their business. Even the simplification of bureaucracy, which is a very critical issue still pending in Italy, affecting our Italian companies and foreign companies, as you can imagine. So we are, I think that we are very close also to be in our complexity. More maybe you manage better than us the relations with the bureaucracy, but in Italy it is still is a great cost now, still a day. So let's now thank you for all your answers to our long list of questions. Now I give back the floor to Mr. Marino, I think, for the intervention from Mr. Cazzaro. So well, thank you again.
Let me say before Giuseppe takes over, I wish to thank you so much for the very targeted questions that gave an overall outlook of how we act as Invest Cyprus nowadays in our country. And may I wish that as soon as possible, we can arrange meetings in Cyprus and in Italy to showcase our efforts to promote our two countries.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very
much. Thank you very much. Michalis, thank you, Federico. Also, I think this was a really interesting smart talk because we covered the various sector, and I believe that is an important, a really important point for the future relation. I leave the floor to Kostas for the conclusion. Please, Kostas.
Thank you, Giuseppe. I think it was one of the most interesting discussions that we had the chance to follow with the initiative of the Chamber of organizing these smart talks. I think that both Federico's questions were directly to the point, and Michalis gave some excellent examples of the potentials of the Cypriot market. He referred to specific examples, the efforts, for example, in the fund industry, with the upcoming increase of assets under management and the attraction of foreign investors, and also human capital of experts like fund managers also, He referred to initiatives of SIPA, such as awarding investors that bring value to the economy. I think that there is floor for institutional communication, and as you said, despite the difficulties, the chamber takes all the efforts to bring the institutional stakeholders and the private sector also of both the countries together. I think when circumstances will allow, we will have the chance, as Michalis said, for physical meetings too, and we are all eager to that. So with that positive message, I think we should close this very interesting conversation, giving an appointment for the next Smart Talk of the Chamber next month. But most important, giving an appointment in person and having the chance to discuss and get further in depth on the collaboration of both countries. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the excellent conversation. Thanks to the audience for having the patience to stay until now. And let's all hopefully meet together in person the soonest.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
Bye-bye.